Many children think of mathematics as a subject that relies on their memorizing facts and practicing skills. But the true test of children's success in mathematics is when they can't remember a fact or have forgotten a skill. They are able to think, reason, and solve problems and make sense of mathematical ideas. Marilyn Burns. Balanced math is the answer to children's success in mathematics because it is a seamless combination of essential basic arithmetic skill mastery and a higher order conceptual understanding of problem solving. How does balanced math develop success in elementary students that last throughout their formative education into adulthood? Balanced math follows a basic premise that with conceptual understanding comes computational fluency and problem-solving skills. It is a standards and research-based, student-centered approach focusing on best practices in mathematics education in the elementary classroom. The balanced math framework is based on a workable schedule that fits into any procedure-based classroom to become routine for teacher and student alike. The time frame per day can be adapted based on the individual schedule of the classroom, but we will focus on a 60-minute framework over a 10-day cycle for purposes of explanation here. A balanced math framework consists of a daily math review, mental math, concept lesson, and closure journaling. Notice first that in the framework, days 1 through 4 all look the same. Every day, math time starts with 15 minutes of math review and mental math. The concept lesson consists of the standard that is being taught for that day and lasts 40 minutes. The last 5 minutes are dedicated to a closure activity such as journaling. On the 5th and 10th days, Fridays in this framework, the primary focus is assessment. Math teachers will find that many of these elements are already in use in the classroom. Balanced math is a structured way to manage the classroom so that the student-centered nature of the program is ensured. As in all consistent routines, the children depend and thrive in this setting. Now let's delve into each component of balanced math. First, we'll talk about math review. In math review, the role of the teacher is to act as a facilitator, encouraging a variety of ways to solve problems and help model efficient thinking when necessary. Typically, this involves posting 4 to 6 varying standards-based math concepts for students to work out. Students may want to solve these problems in a math notebook, folder, or journal. The problems are corrected as a group, and the teacher guides students to share different strategies they may use to find a correct answer. Concepts are revisited throughout the school year as a spiraling review so that they are not taught in isolation or forgotten. As in real life, we may have many routes to get home depending on what we need along the way, but the destination doesn't change. In math, many students need different strategies to find the correct answer, and sometimes peers have great tips to help them get there. Math review allows for deeper perspectives into problem solving and develops computational fluency along the way. Some resources to help teachers develop a strong spiraling math review are Mountain Math. Mountain Math is available in K-6, General Math 7 to 8, Pre-Algebra and Algebra. Kits cost $75.95 per grade. You generally display Mountain Math on a bulletin board, and there are worksheets that correlate with the week's problems. It's perfect for the math review element of balanced math because you can decide the number of problems the students will solve each day. The goal is to finish the board once a week so that the students are reviewing previously taught material on a weekly basis. For more information, go to Mountain Math, www.mtmath.com. Another resource is Arithmetic Developed Daily, or ADD. According to the website, Arithmetic Developed Daily is a fast and efficient lesson starter designed to review key math concepts and skills. Each daily activity is comprised of 3 distinct components, including mental math questions, skill development, and a word problem for the day. There is a price associated with this product. There are samples for each grade available on their website. Go to www.growpub.com. Next is Week by Week Essentials. This is an amazing free website through the Public Schools of North Carolina, which is perfectly suited to the balanced math framework. Look for the Week by Week Essentials for each grade level. There are math review worksheets, math fact spiraling games, and teacher lesson guides and mental math problems. You will find K through 2nd and 3rd through 5th grade resources available on the site. This is an excellent free resource for teachers to explore and use. Go to mathlearnnc@sharpschool.com to print the free material. You may already be using such review resources as Minute Math and Drops in the Bucket. Check with your school library, other teachers in your school, or your school instructional coach who may have these resources available for your use. Very closely connected to Math Review is Mental Math, or Math on Your Feet. This can consist of brief daily sessions and can be connected to the Math Review or replace it as the spiraling review for the day. Mental Math is an opportunity to practice mental computation and to solve problems in a variety of ways. Mental Math is a great transitional tool. You can guide a mental math session during a bathroom break, during snack, or in the few minutes of downtime you may have before a transition to another class, an assembly, or lunch. Some examples of mental math are: have students line up according to a number and then ask for one more than 5 to line up first, 3 less than 8, and so on. Have students count by 2s, 3s, 5s, and 10s. Give out 2 numbers and have them figure out the fact families. Review measurement. What time will it be in 10 minutes? How many quarters are in $1? What will the date be in 6 days from today? Estimate how many feet is from the lockers to your desk. Have math vocabulary flashcards on a ring that you take with you to bathroom breaks, or have a math word wall and give a definition to match a word. Review math facts. Ask estimation questions. Use the room to create mental math problems on the fly. Students won't even realize that they are solving problems and developing their computational fluency. Balanced math in action. Concept lessons are the primary focus in the balanced math framework. During the concept lessons component, problem-based interactive learning should be the foundation in teaching for understanding. Students experience inquiry-based methods of understanding key concepts. Teachers implement strategies that help students develop understanding. When introducing new concepts, students are presented with and encouraged to use concrete representations of the concepts they work with. It is essential to utilize resources and methods beyond the adopted textbook. A variety of strategies are going to meet the needs of all learners. Remember that balanced math is a standard-based program, and the only way for students to gain conceptual understanding is if they are presented with many resources that allow them hands-on opportunities to solve problems based on the concepts highlighted in the district's standards. The teacher facilitates opportunities to work in whole group, partner, and small group instruction with manipulatives, technology, and in centers that are built around deepening concept enrichment. There are many resources that will help teachers plan engaging interactive concept lessons. For starters, MNPS curriculum guides and grade level course outlines are excellent planning resources. Go to www.portaportal.com, guest name Course Outlines. There, you will connect to your grade level's wiki space, which contains detailed webs of core standards to cover during each 9-week period. Here is a third grade web with the math standards for the first 9 weeks highlighted. There are also yearly pacing guides by grade level and week-by-week course outlines with planning ideas that can help develop engaging concept lessons. If your school has a numeracy coach or consulting teacher, they are an excellent resource within the school and are there to support the teacher in planning and in in-house professional development. Collaborating with grade level teams and talking about different strategies to connect with all students is very beneficial as well. All MNPS schools should have ETA SuperSource math manipulative kits with lesson plans available. Kits should include an assortment of base 10 blocks, as seen here, snap cubes, pattern blocks, colored tiles, tangrams, and Cuisinart rods. Marilyn Burns is one of today's most highly respected mathematics educators, dedicated to the improvement of math instruction in grades K through 8. Her interactive lessons are standards-based, and many provide a cross-curricular literature connection. Online resources are in abundance. MathWire is a free standards-based site that has lessons for every grade level, as well as links to online games and guides for hands-on activities. www.mathwire.com for more information. BrainPop has dozens of topical animated videos with activities, quizzes, and references. It can be used in numerous ways, from introducing a new lesson or topic to illustrating complex subject matter to reviewing before a test. Content is aligned to state standards and easily searchable. There is a cost for the entire site, but there are free featured videos that change weekly. Sign up for a free trial at www.brainpop.com. Illuminations is an excellent site for finding standards-based lessons and games that develop problem-solving skills. Check out this free site at illuminations.nctm.org. Education Place is the district's adopted textbook site and has lots of great tools to use with classroom technology. Use the online teacher tools at www.eduplace.com. The textbook is an excellent resource, but should not be the driving force of lesson planning. Teacher resource books are great places to find activities and lessons that can be adapted to the standards being covered. Math games can be found online in resource books, in the textbook, or created using manipulatives, playing cards, dice, or any number of common classroom materials. Tap into your students' creativity and see what kinds of games they can create on their own. Tell me and I'll forget. Show me and I may not remember. Involve me and I will understand. This Native American proverb beautifully depicts what a concept lesson should provide the learner: the opportunity to be involved deeply in the lesson for conceptual understanding. The last component of balanced math is closure and journaling time. After every concept lesson, there must be time for students to reflect on what they have learned that day. This typically only lasts about 5 minutes and wraps up the balanced math class time. During this time, students articulate their thinking verbally or in writing and can include pictures and words. In a math journal or notebook, students can reflect individually or in a whole group setting. They can record their representation of key concepts and make connections visually through words or pictures. It can be an opportunity to use math vocabulary or a math word wall in context. An example of a closure activity is a number profile, where you give a number of the day and you ask questions about the number. Let's say the number for the day is 27. Is it even or odd? Write the ordinal number of this standard form number and write the expanded form. Make today's number by adding two numbers. Draw a picture of your number in 3 different ways. You may use base 10 blocks or some other manipulative. Then explain your picture in writing, and so on. Closure activities and journaling allows much opportunity for creativity in wrapping up the math class for the day. Now we have covered all the daily components of the balanced math framework. But what about assessment? Formative and summative assessments are an important element of balanced math. Formative assessments should be happening consistently throughout the 10-day framework. Teachers check on learning as students progress through such techniques as teacher observations, rubric-guided review of math journals, teacher-made assessments, games that review concepts, and ongoing district initiatives like Dibbles Math. Summative assessments check on learning at the end of a learning experience. Examples of these assessments are chapter and unit tests, interactive projects, and benchmark assessments like ThinkLink and TCAP. A strong visual analogy to put these assessments in context is when the cook tastes the soup, that's a formative assessment. But when the guests taste the soup, that's a summative assessment. Let's look more closely at how to integrate these assessments into days 5 and 10 in the framework. To recap, days 1 through 4 are structured as follows: 15 minutes of math review, mental math, 40 minutes of concept lessons, and 5 minutes of closure journaling time. On day 5, the first 10 to 15 minutes of class can be dedicated to a math facts assessment or review quiz over concepts that were introduced in days 1 through 4. Students work on their own individual level to practice math facts. The remaining 45 to 50 minutes are designated for small group instructional time. Centers and problem-based activities are available that review the concepts learned during the week. This allows for students to be given time for additional instruction, remediation, or enrichment opportunities. Groups can be differentiated based on assessment information gathered during the week. For those that need remediation, the teacher can provide direct and explicit instruction. Some things to keep in mind when organizing day 5 are to provide developmentally appropriate activities, make intentional connections of the concepts being taught, ensure that students understand the expectations of the activities, and at the end, emphasize how a problem was solved, what strategies were used, and how the answers will be shared. Day 10 is the last day of the Balanced Math Framework cycle and is entirely focused on assessment. This day provides a consistent opportunity to check on student progress. Some areas of assessment to address are as follows. Assess students using problems from the math review and basic fact fluency. Provide time to correct the assessment on the math review as a whole class. Benchmark assessments can be conducted at this time. Students can be assessed on concepts taught during the previous 10-day cycle. Teachers can make note of the students who need to be retaught. Additional work time can be provided for those that need it. Research shows that there are typically 3 stages of learning for long-term, higher-order thinking and understanding. This is depicted in the CRA model. The C stands for concrete learning, the first stage. Students will use their prior knowledge to construct concrete representations of math concepts. Concept lessons present students with the concrete knowledge of what they are to learn. R is for representational learning. In this stage, students must represent their understanding in a reflective and/or symbolic form. The closure activities or journaling that happens after every concept lesson is what deepens the conceptual understanding that balanced math is based upon. When the concrete and representational stages of learning are addressed in an engaging and student-centered way, then they become a visual reminder for deep understanding in the abstract, or A in the model, the third stage of learning. This abstract understanding calls for repeated practice to keep the concepts fresh and deeply remembered. Therefore, daily math review and development of mental math problem-solving skills are vital to computational fluency and concept understanding. The balanced math program has come full circle. The challenge we face as math teachers is to help students become flexible thinkers who are comfortable with all the content areas of mathematics and are able to apply their learning to problem-solving situations. Marilyn Burns. That is a heavy task which lies on the shoulders of math educators. Balanced math is the answer to this challenge that every teacher in the 21st century is faced with. The skills developed through balanced math will prepare our students to go forward into a world that doesn't even exist and be able to solve problems that we can't imagine in our wildest dreams.